What's going on, folks? This is Brandon Main at Blue Collar Taxidermy. I think I got you in frame. I'm going to talk to you today about the going under the burrs and removing all of the skin cleanly away from the antlers. I want to talk today about the bird beak knife. If you can see that right there, it's got a little curve to the tip, and this is just a little cheap knife that I get from the taxidermy supply. They're like $7, $8, $9. I don't know. I buy a couple of them every year. The metal's not that great, so you got to keep them sharp, but it works great for getting under here. A lot of people are scared to cape these things out around the antlers because this is the hardest part, and it's hard for everybody, so don't feel bad because almost every guided animal that we get from a professional is butchered up around the antlers. But the hardest part is just getting it clean. But if you'll just take your time, this one's already been kind of wide out, but what I like to do is I take my bird beak knife, and you've got to I point it, you'll see a little crevice like where your burrs are kind of burly around the edge. What you're doing is you're going right in here, like picking a slot, and you're taking that point and you're going directly down, and you're making one clean cut. You got to have a sharp knife so when you go in, it rolls a straight line. And you could either do a Y cut, you can do a straight across cut, or I'm sure there's multiple cuts. I like the Y myself just because it's what I'm used to, and I sew both sides separate when I'm coming back. But anyway, it's just real important. You don't want to get a crazy Y or a long Y. If you'll look at the hair pattern, I used to show this in my old videos a long time ago. There's a line on the top of the head that you'll see, and that's kind of good to follow depending on the antlers whether they're in your way or not. But you'll just make one small clean cut right here, and then you'll come to the other side and you'll go right in the same, and you'll make one small clean cut right there, and you just come down like that to where it's one cut. You don't want to be chopping, or you don't want to come in. You want to go really smooth and really clean. So once you get that, you'll have like a V, and then you're going to make a Y, and you just want to come down as far as you can. You know, and I'm just telling you this, definitely don't have to do this to bring it here, but I'm just saying this is just a tip for taxidermists. This is a tip for kids wanting to learn how to do it one day. It's a tip for whoever. But if you're out of state hunting and you want to cape it out instead of paying a couple $100 for somebody to do it, this is mainly who it's for. But once you get that started, just kind of peel back around the ears and stuff, and even if you're out of state hunter, you don't necessarily have to cut the ear butts off. Like what you would have to do is you could probably just open it up to right here without even going around the burrs, and come down far enough to where the spinal cord attaches to the brain cavity. And that is what you would have to cut off and get cleaned out. But you can really just cut the neck off right here and clean all that out, the back of the brain, and have a safe deer to transport as long as it's all the way thoroughly clean. But if you're wanting to go ahead and go around the burrs, what I do is I take this bird beak and I'll just go under and just really careful. You see a lot of people do it with screwdrivers. That's fine because that's how they've been doing it forever. I use a screwdriver. I use different knives. I like to use a tinier scalpel blade, a skinny one for around the burrs. But if you're not real well seasoned in it, just take your time, because once you get a flap, as long as you don't rush and cut out into the hair, you can go straight up stay on that bone, and you could just ride that bone. Now, if you're scraping bone just steady, you're going to dull your knife. But if you just take your time, you could just easily, without doing anything else, just cut a little bit at a time, and it just peels it off of those burrs. And then just keep an inward angle at the tip of your knife so you're not going out. And if you want to take the screwdriver to loosen up, you just got to make sure you're underneath the skin and not ripping the hair. And if you don't get a clean cut on the cartilage underneath there, your screwdriver is going to be on top, and you're going to take a good chance of ripping your hair. But if you just stay underneath that, you can do it. I use that. Some of them come off easier than others. I just make sure I'm always cutting along the way. And you can take that bird beak, which is really good, and you could just go in there and kind of cut underneath. You're cutting all the way underneath that cartilage. So you're not even taking a chance of cutting the hair. And you're just kind of working it. And then I'll just take this screwdriver and work it a little bit. And work it a little bit. I start both of my sides so I can meet around. And then you could just keep cutting skin back. But I just work it. Just take your time, especially if you're not used to it. Just work it, work it, work it. And then it's free. So you'll see it when it's all the way clear. I don't know if you'll be able to tell right there. But I'll cut it a little bit more. But anyway, it's the first day of muzzle loading. It's been slow. All the dry weather. I figured it was going to be. In the early season hunts, probably it's changed things up. But as far as I know, they've been fighting pretty good already for a minute. And this one is stinking like a hot rod Lincoln. So it's almost time. We got a front coming in tonight. So I'm expecting business to pick up as long as it don't rain everybody out, which it shouldn't. But anyway, you can kind of see it's totally clear from the burr now. And then you just got to be really careful with the ear butt. You can kind of feel it. It's always just safe to go deep, you know, keep as much as you can as the better. And then just take your time and peel the skin and just go little by little and be really careful with the eyes. I'll do another video on that later, but I like to stick my finger in the eye when I'm getting close to it, and it just keeps you from cutting into the cornea or around the edge or anything like that. But anyway, I just wanted to do a tip since we're just getting back on the internet. We appreciate everybody's support and following us. We're going to try to get the page lined out. We got a professional coming to help us. So I'm not any good at that, but we just thank you very much. And we're here wide open, ready for another deer season. So just holler at us if you need anything. Thanks a lot.